This is an absolute disaster on every single level that is borderline unwatchable, but of course I'm not talking about Wicked for Good itself, I'm talking about the press tour. Seriously, if you look up Wicked interviews, in 90% of them, they are crying over like the simplest question ever, but the movie itself is actually pretty solid, so here's my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the film. The pacing is the biggest positive and negative of this film, because obviously this is a part 2, it picks up right after the last movie ended, with Elphaba kind of being on the run and hunted down and just trying to expose the wizard's lies. And this movie moves at a million miles per hour from the very first second, because we are jamming in so much story. There's so many different things going on. There's really no time to breathe, which is kind of a big negative. Like there are some really sweet, slower moments, but then you're immediately jumping into something else. You don't get any time to live in that moment. There's also a lot of moments in this movie where you take a complete detour or kind of stop dead to set up the events or show literally exact moments from the Wizard of Oz movie, because obviously this is heavily connected, but it did really hurt this film in comparison to the first. And as someone that's never seen the musical, I gotta admit, some of the ways that the characters of the Wizard of Oz get introduced in this film, I honestly just found laughably stupid, or really like it made absolutely no sense. Something I have really no complaints about is the acting performances across the board though. Starting off with Cynthia and Ariana, they are just as incredible, if not even better than they were in the first movie. They are going to get tons of Oscar buzz for these roles, and honestly, if either of them win, I would not be mad whatsoever. They truly bring it in every single scene, and all the moments they share together are really the best parts of both of these movies. I don't think the songs are anywhere as good or as catchy as in part 1, and again, I haven't seen the musical. I don't know if that's a common complaint people have about the second act, but like I still remember Popular and Defying Gravity and The Wizard and I and all these other things from part 1, and I'm struggling to remember more than like one song, and I just watched this movie last night from Wicked for Good. Still, their singing and everything in the moment is very good. I just don't feel like any of them were as good of bangers as we had in the first one. There are lots of really good supporting performances in this movie too, like Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. Once again, he is just so fun as his character when he gets into his like Jeff Goldblumisms and just starts making random noises. I love it every single time. He's so entertaining. And I really like how the movie gives him some time to shine in this film. Like he has this entire sequence where he's kind of just breaking down the entire theme of the movie and how people believe what they want to be and how people get tricked and stuff. And honestly, that was one of the best moments of the entire film to me. Ethan Slater as Bach might be most improved from the first film. Like this movie is asking a lot more from him. He has some really big moments, and it's asking a lot from him, particularly emotionally, and he absolutely nails every single scene. I think the same is true for Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero. This movie trusts him with a lot more to do, a lot more emotional baggage, and he really nails every single scene in this film. I also do think this movie looks better than the first one. I know a lot of people, including myself, complained that the first movie looked very washed out in a lot of scenes. A lot of the lighting and everything was just really off, but I do think this movie does improve upon that. It's definitely still there in some scenes, but there are some stuff that looks really gorgeous, and of course the sets and costume design and just Oz in general does look great. It really is just the pacing that throws this entire thing off and makes it a little bit worse than the first one in my opinion, because again, you just don't get that time to live in certain smaller moments or live in a musical piece. You're constantly jumping onto the next thing, and 50 different things in the story are happening that make it feel very cluttered. But even me, who's never seen the play, I don't care for musicals at all, honestly, this is still a very enjoyable film with some great performances. I give it a 7 out of 10. If you want to see all my other recent movie reviews on the channel, make sure to click the playlist above my head right now, and thank you for watching.